Hi, I'm Debbie from Simply Special Crafts. And for those of you who will hear him in the background, this is Teddy, the new addition to the Hamilton household. He's 12 weeks old and he's a brown, cuddly toy poodle who thinks he should be held 24/7, but he's got to kind of learn to get into his kennel, especially when mom's working. So he's going to spend a little kennel time, and we're likely to hear his protests about that. So I thought I would introduce you and tell you what the noise is coming from. For those of you who would be concerned, yes, Amy is still with us. She's just getting to be a really senior girl, and it was time to think about having an additional puppy in the household. So when the time comes that we lose Amy, we're not at a loss. So are you going to sleep? Okay, this is the Butterfly Moments card from the Midnight Butterfly set at Hunkydory Crafts. I'm just going to show you the 4 cards we're making closer up to start with. Look at this one. It has gears in it. And the card kits that we send to you will have gears in them. Love this one with the clocks. So pretty. And yes, you will get the perky butterfly too. You'll also get a perky butterfly for this one. You'll get the stickers. And we've put in a piece of embossed mirror board for you. Let's take a look at how we're going to make these. We do have a class kit available on this one. And let me just start by showing you the component pieces, then we'll start making a card on camera. We have the topper sheet, gold foil die cut toppers with a number of wonderful sentiments, small tag toppers. This beautiful piece of cardstock. Look at that thing. Isn't that gorgeous? Now this is a Magic Mirri kit, so you'll see the colors in this are just, totally beautiful and very rich. That's because it's actually printed on mirror board. Here's the other piece of cardstock. And of course we're going to include your insert sheets. Now Brittany, were there more than 4 styles of inserts? Is it possible their inserts could vary from the ones that we're showing? She's nodding her head yes. Your inserts may vary, but the insert sheets will be beautiful, and I'm sure you'll be pleased with them no matter what. But your insert sheets may vary just a bit from these. We included a piece of opera red mirror board. Here's that beautiful foiled butterfly. We've actually made this using the Derice all over butterfly folder. We do have these available in the store. It's a great folder. As you can see, you can just make really, really beautiful butterfly toppers. So this is highly recommended, although your kit will come with one pre-embossed. You'll get some acetate for our shaker card. You'll get your envelopes for all 4 cards. Sometimes people wonder what we are, where they can find the envelopes that will match the card sizes that we're doing. And we're going to include those for you. So we have all 4 envelope sizes. We have the 3 card bases, and one of our cards is actually made on the piece of cardstock instead of a card base. You're going to get some embellishments, you'll get some jewel dazzles, you'll get some blue jewel butterflies, and the piece we have coming across here is trimmed off of this sheet of butterflies. You'll get some black foam tape. You'll get some, I call these nail heads, nail head style embellishments that really, with gold and silver, they look spectacular with these. You get the gears for your shaker card, and you'll get a couple of acetate butterflies. In addition to the supplies in your kit, as I said, this Doris folder, the all over butterflies, is highly recommended but not required. You will need to have scissors, double stick tape, glue, and I recommend having a paper cutter handy. Let's get started. Let's start with this pretty card which folds to a 7x7, and we're including for you a 7x7 envelope. We're going to begin by trimming this cardstock down just a little bit. I'm going to take about this much off the end, just to make sure that when we fold this, it will actually fold to a 7x7. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trim this cardstock to be about 6 3/4 inches long. So I'm taking a strip off the bottom. And now my card is going to be ready to fold, and this is going to become our base sheet. Okay, I know that I want to score this, excuse me, at 6 inches. I just wanted to make sure that's where I was, 6 inches. Hello there. So I'm using my mini scoreboard from Hunkydory, and I'm going to make a score line right at 6 inches. You'll notice on my scoreboard I'm actually measuring from the left. That's because your scoreboard is automatically made to make envelopes and box lids. And if you'll notice right here in the measures, see how that makes it like 1/8 of an inch too large? That's to make your box lid fit. If you measure from one side, you're making the box. If you measure from the other side, you're making the box lid, so it automatically builds in at larger measure, which is great when you're making boxes, but you do have to remember when you are measuring other things that you want to measure from the left to the right when you're using a mini scoreboard. Now I'm going to score this again, and I'm going to score this at, let's see, 6, and do a little quick calculating here. So that is 5 inches. If I come in 3, I'm going to have an overlap of 2. So 6, 2. Yeah, that should work. I'm going to score this at 5 1/4, or excuse me, at 3 1/4 inches. So I'm measuring off again, 1, 2, 3 1/4. And I'm going to score this one here at 3 1/4. And what that's going to give me is a card that when folded should fit really nicely inside my 7-inch envelope. And I see that I'm going to be off just a tad. I'll trim this just a hint to ensure that it's going to fit my 7-inch envelope. So I'm going to take about 1/8 of the outside here. Now let's see. Sometimes, guys, this is a little bit of a game of hit and miss. If it's too tight at all, just trim just a little bit extra off your edge. Now I think it's going to be perfect. Let's see here. There we go. We have perfection. Okay, so we've got this beautiful card base set up. And see, nobody will know we trimmed those pieces but us. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do here is we're going to take this large 3-piece frame and we're going to bring it over to our card. And this is the one that we want right here. It's the biggest one on the sheet. We're going to pop the sections apart in this frame. Pop the center section out. We're going to pop this middle piece out. We're going to put foam squares on the outer frame and on the top or on the inside. And we're going to glue this gold ring flush between the two. So let's go ahead and I'm going to go off camera for just a minute while I put down my foam squares. As we went off camera, Brittany reminded me that I actually gave you enough foam tape, that you should have enough foam tape to use foam tape instead of foam squares on your card. The advantage of doing that is that these are really dark cards, and since they're dark colored, this way your foam squares won't show at all. Do be conservative in how much foam tape you use, though, because you want to make sure you have enough left for your shaker. I went ahead and peeled this because I wanted to show you the easiest way to peel this dark tape. What I recommend that you do is roll a little bit out, tear it in the center, pull your tape back both directions. If you cut it first, you're going to struggle to get your paper off your foam tape. But if you go ahead and peel the tape first, then it's relatively easy to get your foam squares cut and usable. So that's what I'm doing. This black foam tape is really, really sticky, and you don't want to lose all your sticky surface when it peels up with the tape. So peel a bit of your tape back first, then clip it, and keep yourself a loose end on that tape so that you can easily peel the tape from here back. I hope that makes some sense. Does that make some sense, Brittany?
I think so.
Okay, Brittany's our camera person today. Say hi, Brittany.
Hi.
She loves it when I do that to her.
It's my favorite.
Okie dokie. And that'll be enough foam squares to hold that nicely. You'll see I just put like a 1/2 inch strip in each corner and a 1/2 inch strip on the two sides. That should be plenty to hold that frame up. And now I'm going to position that frame just slightly above the center, because I'm going to bring a tag down here. I'm going to drop it just a little bit. I actually got that centered pretty much, I guess. And now I'm going to take my gold ring as soon as I figure out what I did with it. Okay, we're going to take our little needle nose glue bottle and we're going to apply our glue ever so lightly, just a tiny little line, guys, will get the job done on this. This doesn't require a lot of glue. And I'm just going to put a tiny line around this frame. Here we go. And I'm going to drop it in. Side the larger frame we've already put down. And that's going to look terrific. Now, if you do what I just did and you get any glue on your mirror board, you can take a baby wipe or a damp towel and you can get that off really easily. Okay. Now we're going to take and put just a little bit more foam squares on this center piece. And again, be conservative in how much you're using of this, because you want to make sure that you have plenty to do your shaker card. But I'm just going to cut myself some little squares. If you prefer to use your foam squares, you're fine to do that. I just was already providing the black tape, so I thought we'd give you just a little extra of that so that you could use it instead of foam squares. It is really sticky stuff though, and if you prefer to use your foam squares, good on you. That's fine too. I don't know, Puppy's being very cooperative. When he fell asleep in my hands as the video started, he went right out in his kennel. Now, hopefully he'll stay that way for a few minutes so we can finish our video. I'm sure he'll give us a show if he wakes up. Okay, I'm going to pop that right in the center. There we go. Beautiful. How gorgeous is that? But we're going to make it even more gorgeous. Now, we're going to take this tag that says, "Love captures a moment and changes us forever." We're going to put this here in this corner. And you can drop that down a little bit if you want to. Just going to put a tiny bit of foam on there. This foam tape will gum your scissors up a little bit. If you're looking for a good cleaner for your scissors, I recommend the Best Cleaner Ever from the manufacturers of the best glue ever. Okay, there we go. And now we're going to just add a few embellishments. This card is going to be finished, believe it or not. How easy was that? I'm going to take, now see where we've got these little dots, these blue dots? To me, those cry, "Put an embellishment here, put a jewel here." And see these round ones? That's a perfect place to put some of our gold balls. So I'm going to put a blue one here. Oops, I had one on my finger already. It transferred. Come on. Come on. Lift up. Put one there. I'm going to put one in the center of my clock, like that. I'm going to put one here on my tag, off to the side, because that will look good. I'm going to reposition my tag just a little bit because I didn't have it firmly secured. Let me try that a little bit more. I had it kind of sticking off the edge. It didn't like that. Now let's add a little bit more foam tape to that. We can get that to stick better. There we go. Okay, now it's going to stay put. And we're going to add, there's a little ball at the top of the pocket watch there. We're going to put one on the winder. Like that. I'm going to get a couple of my little metal embellishments. And Brittany, when she built these kits, gave you plenty of nice pieces to add to your cards. I think you'll be pleased with what you get. Now, if these pull away from the glue dot, when you pick them up, just press them back on and try again. If they still are falling off, then I would say just add a drop of glue with it. Usually they're pretty good, but any of these self-adhesive dots can do that. They can pull away from the glue. One of these here. That one sticks really good. One here. I'm going to put larger jewels over these larger dots. And I'm going to put a medium-sized dot in the center of that clock. Now, if you have trouble doing this just with your fingertips, use a pen or the sharp end of your scissors or some tweezers to place these. Okay, we have those. And we're going to add one more embellishment down here on this one. We put in the handmade especially for you. So let's put a little piece of foam on there. And how pretty is that, guys? So quick and so easy, but so pretty. Folds up like this to go in the envelope. Stands like this when you take it out. Gorgeous. Okay, let's move on. Okay, next up we're going to do this one. And this one, we're going to use that piece that we cut off of the bottom of our cardstock before to create the base for this. We're going to fold our card backward on the score line. I'm going to go ahead and, instead of facing my entire card, I'm just going to put my pieces here. So, another country's heard from, guys. Don't feel too bad for him. He pretty much will have a charmed life here, but he's going to have to get used to Mom has to work and film videos and teach classes, so he's not going to get held every minute. Most minutes, yes. Pets in our lives tend to lead a pretty charmed life. Okay, peeling off my tape. Remember, if you have any trouble peeling your phone or your easy tear tape, or your finger lift tape, just tear it in the center and pull back both directions. I'm going to fit this piece at the very top, and I'm going to clip it off. I'm going to fit this piece over my tape at the bottom. Is it going? Oh, okay. We took a little puppy break there. And we're back. A sassy little puppy. We have attached our second strip to the bottom and clipped it off. Now we're going to take this sheet of embossed butterfly paper, and you can see on the sides here how it's a little bit flat on the two sides. I'm going to carefully trim that off. I want this to still be at least 4 1/8 inches wide, but I'm going to trim that a little bit. Okay. And you can see that when I trim an 1/8 inch off either side there, this fits perfectly. Then I need to decide how much I want to use. I want to make my square 4 1/8 by 4 1/8, so I'm going to cut this off at 4 1/8 inches. And then I'll have a nice square piece. And I'm going to position this piece right here between these two. I love the way that looks. I think that's perfect. So I'm going to just tape that down. My goodness, you'd think we were beating him, wouldn't you? He's got a cute little voice. I have a feeling it's going to grate like sandpaper before the night's out. But he does have a really cute little voice. Okay. Okay. Are we feeling guilty, Brittany?
No, but I'm to the sandpaper part.
Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to trim off a piece of our blue to use. I taped just a little long there. I'm going to tuck that up under there. Okay, we're going to trim off a piece of the blue to use. Now, when Brittany put these kits together, either you will have a wide piece on your jewel dots, or you'll have a wide piece on your butterflies. And we're just going to go ahead and clip that off, and that's what we're going to use for our band across there. Now, I don't think this is quite wide enough to go all the way. It's not. But because we have a topper going through the middle, that doesn't matter. I'm going to clip it in half, and I'm going to run both sides and leave a little gap in the middle, because nobody will ever know I left a gap in the middle. So that's how we're going to solve that problem. I'm going to start by peeling it. There we go. Whoops, I didn't get it. My goodness. Sydney, would you stop beating on the puppy? He's pretty sure he's being beaten. Okay, there we go. All right. He said, what's the matter? How come nobody's answering me? Can't they tell I'm calling? I think he's beginning to get the idea that we're going to expect him to be just a little bit self-entertaining for a few minutes. Okay, kind of goes uphill a little bit there. I think it's probably going to be fine when I put my topper on this. Look, see if I need to actually move it. And this time we're going to use this little topper off the top. Let's just see how it's going to look there. There, I think that's going to be great, actually. So I'm going to put a little bit of foam square behind it. Again, I'm going to be kind of stingy with my piece because I need to make sure I have enough for my shaker card. You can absolutely use foam squares for this if you want to make sure that you have enough. It's really sticky stuff, guys. Wow. Well, that's not working great. You may find that in the other videos I might use foam squares because I'm just not sure this is worth the effort. It's fine on the shaker card, but I'm not sure it's worth the effort for putting all of our toppers down with it. Okay, I've got that nice dimension there from the foam squares. Got a little residue all over my fingers. Okay, next, let's do some embellishments. We have lots of different sizes of butterflies. We're going to bring a butterfly in from this side. I'm going to turn a butterfly up this way. I'm going to use one of these little butterflies. Kind of have him joining the chorus here. Maybe here. Add a few butterflies there. I'm going to make a little swarm of butterflies on the bottom. I'm going to do that. I will add another one here. Oh, we made some headway there. He's kind of settling down a little bit. There we go. Put those butterflies there. I'm going to light one of these sideways butterflies right on the edge of my clock, just to kind of tie that topper in a little bit. I'm going to get my acetate butterfly. You should have a couple of them in a little package like this in your kit. Or if you're buying your materials separately, we do sell these acetate butterflies in sheets. They're all different sizes of acetate butterflies, and we use different sizes and styles in the different kits. And what I want you to do with this acetate butterfly is I want you to crease it on both sides of his body. So you create a little flat place. You see that there? Now, when this goes into your envelope to mail it, that's all going to go out flat. But when you take it back out, because we've creased it, it's going to pop right back up. That's part of the beauty of acetate. I'm going to set that aside for just one moment here. I'm going to put my other embellishments on, and the last thing I'm going to do is glue that butterfly in place. If I glue it down while I'm still putting my other embellishments on, it's going to pop off of there. So I'll just hold that for just a minute. I'm going to put these little, I'm going to put a big one in the middle of my dragonfly. I'm going to put a little gold ball in the middle of this clock. I'm going to put another gold ball in the center of the bigger clock. And get a hold of it. Okay. And I think once we put our butterfly on, we're in pretty good shape. I'm going to glue my butterfly right here. It's okay to use regular glue on this. You can also use the best glue ever or a glue dot if you prefer. Regular glue will hold it. You just have to set it aside somewhere where it won't get bumped and let that glue dry completely. There's my finished card. How pretty is that? Okay, let's move. Next up, let's do this shaker card so I can stop worrying about having enough foam tape to cover it. Let's go ahead. We're going to fold our, what is it, about a 5x5 in half. We're going to get our big piece of cardstock. We're going to use this corner of it from here. So we're going to go ahead, put down some easy tear tape. And I'm going to cover my card just like I usually do, guys. Now this piece I'm going to use is not real directional. I could kind of put it on there any way I want as long as I stay in that corner. I'm going to do what I like to do in class to make sure that I get clear to my edge. And that is that I'm going to take my card just like this, and I'm going to hold it to the table. And take my cardstock. Now the part I care the most about matching to is that outer folded edge, right? So I'm going to take my folded edge and I'm going to go right up against that cardstock that I'm holding at the table level to make sure that I get that entire edge covered. Then I'm going to go around behind here and I'm just going to follow my card. And I have my covered card. Whoops, I don't like the way that looks. I'm going to fix that just a little. See, it kind of looks jaggedy there. With mirror board, it's kind of a sensitive material, and when you cut it, it's possible to kind of cut that outer layer without getting the under layer. And I'm just going to trim off that little scuff I had there. Now, you know you have a magnificent paper cutter when you can have a trim strip like that and it's straight. Okay, now this is going to be a little wider just simply because I just cut the face of that, so now I'm going to cut this down just a tad. And that side's actually straight when I hold it up. Okay, so this time we're going to put down this topper, and we're taking this 3-piece set here. These 2 pieces here, the inside and this inside ring, are going to go down flat to my card. I'm going to tape this down really good with some easy tear tape or finger lift tape. I'm actually going to catch that ring just a little bit with my tape when I do it, just to make sure that everything stays put. I'm going to create a nice good seal on the back of my piece there. So I'm kind of catching that ring and the outer surface of my frame with that tape. I'm going to peel my tape off, and I'm going to center my tape on my card. And I'm going to make sure my topper's right side up. And I'm going to position this right in the middle. Don't put that up on foam squares, guys. That has to lay flush to your card in order to be able to have the gears inside. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get my little packet of gears out, and I'm going to get my frame ready. I'm going to get my frame ready by running some tape around here and putting my acetate on. It'll take a few pieces of tape to put that acetate on firmly all the way around. Takes a minute, but it's a worthwhile step to put this on. So I've got quite a few little pieces of tape here. I'm going to peel my tape and expose my adhesive. Now the acetate will be between this and the gears, so this doesn't have to be sealed super tight like the bottom of the card does. But you still want to have a nice coating of tape here to really catch and hold that acetate. It just doesn't have to be totally sealed like the compartment for your shaker stuff has to be. And a little tape overlapping there. I'm just going to take that tape with my thumb and I'm going to roll it right back onto my frame. I'm going to put this onto my piece of acetate. You should have plenty of acetate actually to make a couple of frames in here if you want to do that. And I'm going to go off camera for just a second because you don't need to see me cut around this, but I'm just going to cut around this and get myself a nice solid edge. Okay, we've got our adhesive cut. Now all I did was just follow the contours around with my scissors. Pretty easy cutting. I'm going to take my foam tape and I'm going to go, I actually want this to be fairly close in to the edges of my card, or of my frame. One nice thing about this foam tape is that you can kind of contour it, you can kind of move it around the opening a little bit. But I want it to be fairly close in because I don't want my gears to disappear out of sight and drop down, you know, behind what you can actually see. All you're watching for is to make sure that you're not letting your foam tape show from the outside. Brittany kept assuring me there was plenty of foam tape here. And me being a worrier, I kept fussing that I wasn't sure that it was going to be enough. And she's right. Look how much I have left after I do my shaker, so we have plenty. I'm going to put this, I started to peel this tape back, but I'm going to put this back in place for just a second. And you've seen me use this before on our shaker videos. I'm going to put a little bit of my powder on the inside edge of that tape. What I'm going to try to do is keep my gears from sticking in the side of that tape by kind of deactivating the tape a little bit right on the edges. They may still stick a little bit, but that's what I'm trying to do, is to get them right into the sides. And this little bag of powder is an excellent way to deactivate the sticky. Okay. Now that might make your window just a little bit foggy. Never worry about that. The gears themselves or any shaker components you put in are going to knock loose those little bits of powder, and it's going to look nice and crystal clean. So I'm peeling my tape off. When you finish your row, clip it. Do not tear this tape. If you tear it, you're stretching it, and if you stretch it, you can leave little gaps. It can get thinner, and that can let some of your shaker components out. So, okay, I'm going to put this down. I'm actually going to open it up so that I have a nice level surface. I'm going to put my gears down on the inside. Brittany's given us some really pretty little gears to work with here. Every pack has a nice variety. I think there's, what, about 5 gears in a set normally, Brittany, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Depending on the size of the gears. It's about 5 gears, so it'll be plenty to make a statement with your card. And then I'm going to take my adhesive on my frame, and I'm going to set it right over the top there. I'm going to press that in good because I've got all that foam tape underneath. I really want that to bond to my paper. And there we go. I've got my gears rolling around inside my shaker card. And they may hang up a little bit here or there because they kind of overlap, but it doesn't minimize the impact. It's really cool how the gears kind of move around in there. I think that's really fun. I'm going to add an embellishment on the outside with my little nail heads. I'm really losing stuff today. What do I do with those, Brittany?
I don't know.
They're there. I'm going to put one of these nail heads right in the middle of my clock, right in the middle of my acetate. It will look like it's on the inside, but it's actually on the outside. How beautiful is that? Can you imagine giving that to the guy in your life or anybody who likes mechanical things or clocks? Or that's so pretty. And you can kind of shake those loose and move those gears around in there. But that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I love that. So there we go. We got a shaker card. Okay, time for our 4th and last card in this set. This one is covering our card in Opera Red Mary and using a piece that we're going to cut off of our cardstock. So let's get going. We'll take our card, we'll fold it on the score line. It goes down on the score. We're going to cover our card using our finger lift tape. I usually use 3 lines. Get used to kind of running your tape down with your thumb and just tearing off the end, guys, because you can get pretty fast at doing this. And there's no measuring, cutting with scissors, that kind of stuff. You just don't have to do that. If it doesn't want to lift right away, you can try shaking it a little bit, and sometimes that will separate the paper from the tape. Or if necessary, tear it in the middle and go both directions. I'm going to match my card with my mirror board. The most important edge to match is this back folded edge. That's the one edge you can't do anything about. We've got it on there nice and straight. We're going to just cut around our card. Actually match two edges pretty good there. So we'll cut around our card. I'm really going to have to clean my scissors. They're pretty goopy. And tape. Okay. And we've got our pretty opera red mirror board. Save that little piece. It'd be great for a greeting. We're going to take this piece. First we'll measure a card. I happen to be using a 5x7, so it should measure 5 inches, and it does, by 7, and it does. I want an 1/8 inch border or thereabouts around my card. So let's cut this piece here. Let's see. I just want to make sure I get the best piece. And I think we're going to be fine. Sometimes I trim this edge a little bit to get the best part of the picture, but I think that actually is going to give us the best part of the picture. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm cutting this upside down so that I can cut that outside edge off. I'm going to cut it to 4 3/4. And then I'm going to cut this piece to 6 3/4, which theoretically should give me an 1/8 inch border all the way around. And that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I could stand to take maybe just a little narrow slice off this side. Let's see if we like that better. Yeah, that's better. More even. Okay, remember that when we are trying to center an element, use our tape flags trick. Instead of 3 lines of tape this time, I'm going to use 2. Put one piece of adhesive up the long edge of either side. Rub it in good. Pick the tape, but don't peel it off. And create a little flag out the side. Open up about 1 inch or so. Yeah, it's a little more than 1 inch on that side. 1 inch or so of adhesive showing. Then I can position this right over my card, get everything exactly where I want it. I don't have to stick it down entirely until I really like what I'm seeing. When I'm convinced I have it as centered as it's going to go, I just peel my flags. And my image stays centered on my card, and I have my nice even borders all the way around. It's nothing more discouraging than working hard to create something really pretty, and then you go to put your pieces together, you slip, and then you make it all cattywampus. And then when you try to take it off, invariably you tear or bend a piece, and that's not any fun. We're going to use 2 of our toppers on this card. Time is not measured by clocks but moments. It's beautiful. And we're going to use On Your Special Day. Gorgeous. I'm going to use some more of my tape here. This time I don't have to be quite so cheap with how much I use, because I know that I have enough for all my projects. So I'm going to peel that back, clip it, put another piece on, peel that back, clip it. So remember what I said about keeping your peeled tape slightly ahead of where you're actually working. Keep peeling this back because it can be really ugly tape to get the paper off of. So if you do that, instead of just cutting it up in a bunch of little pieces, you're not going to spend all day picking the tape, which you might have to do otherwise. Okay, so I put that topper on. I'm going to give it a little gold dot in the center. Look what a difference that makes when we just put that one little piece there. That's so nice. We're going to give this a nice big dot in the center of this clock. We'll give this, let's give this a little bit smaller one on this dragonfly. Let's put some tape on here. Puppy decided to go back to sleep. He's had a big day. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, quickly before we stop here, let's line a couple of these to remind you how we line them. There's only 3 cards that need to be lined. Of course, we're not going to line this one. We'll just write on the back and it's finished. But to line this card, I'm going to take my open card. I'm going to put a piece of tape right under my fold line, like so. Rub it in a little bit. I'm going to decide what part of my topper I want to use, or my insert sheet, and I like that piece right there. So I'm going to face that towards the front of my card, stand it up where I want it, let gravity help me keep that where it belongs, and I'm simply going to close the back of the card, which puts it right at the fold. I'm going to trim around it as soon as I dig my tape off my scissors. And look how beautiful that looks. If the piece I want to use is on the opposite side, this time it's going to work out okay, but let's say I wanted to use it this way, okay? And I'm trying to use gears that are on this side of my paper. I'm still going to do it the same, well actually that's not true. I'm going to put my paper in my card the way I want it to go. I'm going to, if you see these dots on the back, those are Velcro dots that's from hanging on our display board here in the classroom. In case you were wondering what those little spots were on my cards, that's what they are. Little hangers where we've had them on display. I'm going to cut around it, okay? Then I'll turn it around the way I want. I'll tape it in and trim it a little bit as necessary. I'll put my tape line in, tear the tape off the edge of my card. Stand this up where I want it. I will close my card. Oops. I will get it uneven this time because I'm trying to hurry and I shouldn't do that. I'm just glad you see me make these mistakes too, because it happens to all of us, guys. Okay, let's try that again. Put the tape line down. Brittany's here yawning too. I think she and the puppy both need a nap. Do you need a nap with the puppy?
Maybe.
And I'm going to trim it up just a tad. Get it right where I want it. And we'll have a pretty lined card. Okay. We have one final one there. You want to hand that one over, Brittany, as well? Finish them up. You're actually going to have more insert paper than you will actually need because of the fact that we made that one card out of the cardstock and it doesn't need an insert. But we might as well use it. I'm going to save this extra piece of insert paper in case I need more on any of my others. This would actually be quite pretty even on the outside of a card, wouldn't they? This is quite pretty. But line it up with the insert that I want. Showing. I'm going to close my card. I'm going to trim around it. And we're finished. Isn't that pretty? Oh my gosh. Okay. Just realized when we went to break and I was cleaning up some things on my desk, I didn't put this last butterfly on. So I'm going to put this butterfly right here on this card. Then it's finished. Okay. This has been the Butterfly Moments from the Midnight Butterflies collection of Hunkydory crafts. On behalf of Debbie and Teddy, ow! Amy, Brittany, and the rest of us here at the Hamiltons at Simply Special Crafts, I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit that subscribe button, and then you'll be notified when we have new videos available. Newsletter subscribers will get a supplies list of all of the things we used in today's video. We do have a card kit available. Ow! Ow! For this video. Excuse me, sir. There's a supplies kit available for a class kit available for this video. Yes, you. And they can get that. Our people can get that by clicking on the little link down below the video here. Debbie from Simply Special Crafts, and we'll see you next time.